Yeah, and I was thinking about this throughout the week. They need to find a big man because I've said in previous episodes, and I said it a ton, the league is going to run through Wemby soon. It is only a matter of time. If he stays healthy, the Spurs have a competent roster around him. I think the Spurs are number one in the West right now, Josh, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to fact check me on that. But the league is going to run through Wemby very soon. And that means you're going to. Huh?
No, the Thunder are.
The Thunder are? So what are the Spurs, too?
No, the Spurs are 3.
Three? Okay, so the top three in the West. The league's going to run through Wemby soon. And that means you need a big who can stop him or slow it. You can't just slow him down to match up against him. So you have to find a big somewhere in the NBA to match up against Victor Wembanyama, and the rest of your roster has to beat the other players on the Spurs roster when you match them up, in a sense. So they have to find a big, is what I'm coming to, because they have to eventually, because it's the same way that the Celtics built their roster, their championship roster, to beat the Denver Nuggets, because they were the most recent NBA team, and they had to find somebody to match Jokic. They're going at Kristaps Porzingis. They're back in the same situation where they're going to have to beat the Spurs at some point in the NBA Finals. They're going to have to take down Victor Wembanyama is the way I'm looking at it when they want to win a Banner 19. That's how I'm looking at it. So they have to find somebody to match against him.
I completely agree with you in what they need to do. But I wouldn't even say that Wemby is just the only excuse for finding a big man. You need to find a big man in general. Because if you're telling me, okay, so the starting lineup, let's put Tatum back in the image. Your starting lineup at the moment is White, Pritchard, Brown, Tatum, Keita. I don't trust Kate with all the other teams. No, forget about Wemby for now. Let's take a look at all the other teams in the entire NBA. I do not trust Keita to go up against an Evan Mobley or Jared Allen or a Karl Anthony Towns or a Joel Embiid or a Giannis.
I actually take Keita over Embiid because Embiid sucks.
Embiid does suck, but we can get that into another day. But Apollo Banchero even. I don't trust Keita to stop those guys down low and rim protect and rebound over them. And then hell, by chance you get to the NBA Finals, Chet Holmgren, Jokic, Wemby, Rudy Gobert. Like there's so many. Like you can say Wemby, which is an extremely valid excuse or extremely valid reason to go get a big man. I just think in general, the Celtics need a big man, and I'm so upset Walker Kessler is out for the season. But maybe that's something to look towards, that Walker Kessler's now out for the season. Maybe it's something you can use as leverage against the Utah Jazz to go out and trade for a guy like that. Because if he's out for the season, the Jazz have been wanting to trade that kid for forever. And so I think you might be able to use as leverage as he's out for the season. You have no use for him. Let's take him and we'll hold on to him for next season so that when we come back next season all healthy with Tatum, we can have a starting lineup of White, Pritchard, Brown, Tatum, Kessler.
Would you, if we're talking about players they would trade for a big, if the Mavs blow it up, would you go get Anthony Davis? I still would get AD. He's only 32.
For what price? What's
that's the $1 million question is what's the price for AD?
I honestly thought, because if we're asking for the asking price of AD, you're thinking of getting rid of potentially White, Pritchard, maybe even Brown.
Well,
I was thinking
would they take Simons and a pick for Davis?
Potentially, but I honestly think you were going to go down the route of, which I honestly kind of like more. I thought you were going to go the route of Derek Lively, which I honestly kind of like more.
He's younger, price, he does fit the timeline.
Younger price, cheaper price, younger talent, and is a perfect guide of what we need, a guy who can rim protect, get rebounds on a night-to-night basis. I honestly think that might be a better fit than going out for Anthony Davis, in my opinion.
He signed, so Davis has signed an extension through 2028. 3-year, $186 million. So I'm curious how that would work with the cap and trying to stay under the cap because you have Tatum on a max contract, you have Brown on a max contract. So I'm curious how that would work, but I'm sure Brad Stevens can make it work and can stay under the second apron.
You might get 1 year, kind of just like the championship. You might get 1 or 2 years with the Anthony Davis roster.
Yeah, say you take AD for 2 years. Trade for him this year, you get him until through 28. So you get him this season and next season. You get him next season and the year after.
After that, you'll have to make some kind of sacrifice, whether that is the.
But by then, AD is going to be in the twilight of his career, anyways.
Potentially,
or he's going to be out of his prime of his career. So I would consider, if the Mavs are blowing it up, give him a call. Again, a guy that the Celtics organization has loved since he came into the league is Anthony Davis. I wouldn't be shocked if they make a move. I would be okay because then you have a reason to bring back Tatum this season. Then you have, let's say it's Simons in your first round draft pick or something along those lines for Anthony Davis. Let's just say hypothetically if that's what you do. Then you can go Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, Tatum, Davis. And then you can have, because I think Pritchard's just proving he needs, unless he figures it out and he's just having a shooting slump, he needs to come off the bench. He's the sixth man. And then your rotation can be Pritchard, Minute, Walsh, Queta.
My
like